Shall we begin?
Why not? Welcome to Frankie Sense and More. It's like she's got a whole lot of goodness for you with a little bit of sass.
Frankie, did you just say...
She sure did. Not to mention, along with...
Whoops.
Join us now as Frankie Picasso and her new co-host mix it up with authors, musicians, and interviews with world-changing people.
Let's begin now.
Okay, let's begin now, because it only makes sense.
Shall we begin?
Why not? Welcome to Frankie Sense and More. It's like she's got a whole lot of goodness for you with a little bit of sass.
Frankie, did you just say...
She sure did. Not to mention, along with...
Whoops.
Join us now as Frankie Picasso and her new co-host mix it up with authors, musicians, and interviews with world-changing people.
Let's begin now.
Okay, let's begin now, because it only makes sense.
Hello there. How are you? This is Frankie Picasso. I am your host of Frankie Sense and More. We have a great show planned for you today. But first, my friend Leon Logothetis wrote to me this morning asking for some help. He has a new show called Big Dreams from Little Things. And you may remember that Leon was on my show a while ago. He wrote the book, The Kindness Diaries. He traveled across the world on the kindness of strangers. Well, he sent me some books to give away. And after hearing this story, let me know that you donated if you can, and I will send a book to the 10th person who lets me know. Chase Simmons was born with systemic mastocytosis, a rare and incurable disease. Though doctors initially said he would not live past the age of 7, Chase proved at an early age that he was a fighter. So a constant presence by the side of his mom, Vicky, she provided him with an extra boost of hope and strength. Now, he was... the second child to Vicky. Her first son, Kyle Michael, died at birth. Chase became Vicky's miracle baby. And not only did Chase live past the age of 7, he came up and he became a private first class in the Army. He was stationed in South Korea for a year and a half as a behavioral health specialist, and he was passionate about helping people and soldiers especially overcome PTSD and suicide prevention. Well, in December 2015, he came home for the holidays. He was struck by a semi-truck who lost control and hit him head on. Chase's injuries include 3 bleeds on his brain, a broken neck, and the doctors have explained that he wasn't expected to survive more than 48 hours. Well, he did. He suffered the traumatic brain injury. He's 22 years old. He is fighting for his life. He's in San Francisco. He's in a hospital, and they really need your help to help cover the cost of his medical bills. And so the Leon, who now has that show, Big Dreams for Little Things, is there to help him. And Vicky's best friend, Gail McCormick O'Connor, set up a GoFundMe site. So she says that this family is the most spiritual, kind, loving, giving family that she knows. And if they don't raise the funds for Chase's medical bills, they don't expect this American hero will make it home. So please go to the www.gofundme.com/BigDreamsChase. Big Dreams Chase. Go there and donate generously if you can, and let's bring this soldier home. Thanks. Anyway, are there any Jane the Virgin fans in the wings? What about you, Karina? Are you Jane the Virgin fan? I love that show. Why do you ask? You'll find out, because I just feel like this intro is Jane the Virgin. Okay. Meet DJ Doran. DJ spent 23 years in the military as a US Airforce Reserve pilot, which he must have joined when he was 14, because he then spent another 25 years as CEO of multiple corporations. How did he do it? Growing tired of business, DJ and his husband of 14 years, Joe Morales, sold everything and purchased a 61-foot sailboat and lived aboard for 3.5 years in the San Francisco Bay, learning how to sail before buying a 32-foot motorhome and driving across the U.S. for a year. They became famous for their YouTube videos while on the road. Now, DJ and Joe launched Gaycation magazine, a 100-page glossy LGBTQ travel magazine for a more mature and sophisticated traveler in 2014, and have now grown it to the second largest magazine of its type in the U.S. In 2 years. Tired of the road, DJ decided to use his commitment to social justice and community involvement to acquire the oldest and largest LGBTQ newspaper in the Midwest called The Word. Yes, I did say the Midwest. Now, as a publisher, editor-in-chief, DJ, as I said, turned that rag around to respected newspaper with journalistic integrity. Joe is now changing careers and is training to become a certified chef and was invited to be part of the staff of Cerulean in Indianapolis, which is one of the top 10 restaurants in the city with the head chef, a James Beard Award nominee, several years running. And now DJ recently launched his weekly live internet radio show podcast called The Last Word, airing Fridays at 7 p.m. On Blog Talk. Oh, and he's planning to be the first openly gay pilot to fly around the world, and that event is called Pride Flight 2018. And now you're caught up on the adventures of DJ and Joe. Okay, welcome, boys. How are you?
My gosh, how do I live up to the hype of that introduction?
Look at all the stuff you've done in just a few short years.
Oh, my goodness. I'm seriously, Frankie, I think I was like listening to that. I'm like, wow, I'm tired now.
I know. How do you think it's for me? Like, spit all that out. Hi, Joe. How are you?
Real well.
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm really glad to have you on the show. I always have your better. I don't know who's the better half, but I have the other half anyway. I get to speak to him a little bit more. Wow.
Joe's the cute one. I'm the one that talks all the time.
He really is cute, I have to say.
Oh my God! Seriously, Frankie, you guys want to be alone? Well, I mean, he's gay, so I don't think you have anything to worry about.
No, I know. But how did you guys meet? No, okay, you were in the military for like 25 years, and you didn't come out. You didn't come out then, right?
Oh no. I way back now it's much different, but way back then, all someone had to do is make an insinuation or anything, and then they would discharge you for conduct unbecoming, and that was so nebulous, but that's all it took. And so for most of my career, I had a double life, and even for that, it was hard because I didn't come out until I was close to 40.
Wow, how did that feel?
It was relief. Truthfully, the funny thing is I bawled like a baby when I was talking to my mom. My dad had already passed away. And I remember my mother was Sicilian, and she's like, "What's wrong? Are you in trouble? Are you sick?" All the things that moms say. And I said, no. I said, "I'm gay, and I don't know how to do it." And she goes, "You don't know how to do it?" And which is really just, kind of the weird way. She had a very practical sense. And so, she said, "Listen, if you focus on being a good human being first, then anything you are involved with will be filtered through that." And that is really what helped me not lose my mind when I was making that transition, so to speak.
Joe, did you know him in the military?
Did I know?
Did you know DJ?
Not at all.
No. Okay. So,
no.
DJ, do you think that you changed, like, the way you talk or the way you walk? Like, have you changed since you left the military and became you?
Yes, and it took me a lot of hard work to get him to do that.
That's right. It's like he trained me. It took 14 years, but he's trained me. And actually, Joe, we did know each other when I was in the military. The very beginning of our relationship, when we just wanted to be friends and we weren't really looking for any relationship. I was on the tail end of my career. And
no, I just wondered, were you like more macho, have a lower voice? Like, did you have to pretend to be something that you weren't, or were you just DJ and people were?
Frankie, I'm 55 now. I have a bald spot now, and I'm working on a keg rather than a six-pack, and so. But I did look pretty hot in a flight suit, and a lot of girls, chased me down. And I lived up to that reputation for a period, but I never allowed it to get to the point where it was anything meaningful, because I'd always use my military career as an excuse to cut it off. Like, oh, I'm leaving, I'm traveling, or I'm getting this, or I'm gone, what have you. Right. And so I did have a sort of a different persona, but, Joe always likes to say now, it's like, how did people not know you were gay? Well, because you become very adept at acting a certain way in certain circumstances. And I gotta
ask, Joe, what did you mean by that? Because do you have to act do you have to let people know you're gay first?
I don't think so, because I never did. I just don't care.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, how did they not know you were gay? What would have made people, have their gaydar on for DJ?
Oh, DJ, well, it just happens. It just, I guess it would be sometimes some of his mannerisms, usually when he's relaxed and just being himself or whatever, you're just kind of like, you're looking at him and
like now?
Wow. Yeah.
That guy's gay?
There's one. My go-to story basically is his brother and sister-in-law came out to visit us one year for Christmas, and his brother brought a VHS video of, it was a home family movie. And basically, it's showing DJ jump roping with his sister, with his niece, and at the end of...
That's sweet.
It doesn't matter how old she was. It's all about you, dude. But she was, at the end, when he was jump roping, he had zero grace, and you could obviously see that in the video. And he's stomping as he's jump roping, and then when he's done, he throws his arms out to his side, kind of just envision, Maria von Trapp on the hillside singing the sound of music, and he says, ta-da! And, so...
Listen, my niece was 4 years old, and I was the cool uncle who did stuff like that. And
I can envision you doing that, but I think that you just have this kind of dramatic personality. I think that you just really love attention.
Well,
have you met him in person before? Because that's
I haven't, but I know who he is. I see him in my head. I've talked to him. Yeah. Am I right, Joe?
Yes, you are very right.
Don't listen to Joe. Ever since he had shock treatment and during his prison sentence, he's never been the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you guys are too funny. So how did you tell us your
bite down on the bamboo stick, Joe?
What's that?
Tell us your fall in love story. How did you meet?
Well, it wasn't even so much as a falling in love story. It was more. I was just.
Tell the truth, Joe.
I am, if you be quiet. But I was just looking for friends.
Sure.
Not even
okay,
so
you can
much.
say that. Yeah. So I know. Okay, so you're looking for friends in quotation?
No, actually, I was just.
Oh, I love that. I
swear to God, I really was just looking for friends.
Okay, that's what I told my husband.
So we were just chatting way back when AOL was popular.
7 seconds to commercial.
I think it was AOL. I can't remember, but regardless, it was online and it was.
Hang on, Joe. I got to stop you. We got to pick this up after we're going on vacation.
Sure.
We'll be right back after we pay the bills.
Have you heard? The pages of American Patchwork and Quilting magazine come to life on our new weekly online radio show, American Patchwork and Quilting. Join Pat Sloan, our blogging and quilt designer host, as she talks about the latest trends, ideas, and inspirations. Her guests include quilt pattern designers, authors, quilt shop owners, and our editors, all quilters, just like you. Call in with your questions. Get quilting tips from industry experts. Learn about free patterns. Hear behind-the-scenes stories from our magazines, American Patchwork and Quilting, Quilt Sampler, and Quilts and More. Get the scoop on free stuff and find out more about the best independent quilt shops in North America. To listen to a live show, tune in Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Just log on to allpeoplequilt.com/radio. To hear past shows, go to iTunes and search for American Patchwork and Quilting Radio. We hope you'll join us because we know that quilting changes everything.
It's the Fitness Minute with fitness expert Annette Hammond.
Strong and flexible core muscles fortify almost everything we do. Harvard Medical School encourages us to think of our core muscles as the sturdy central link in a chain connecting your upper body and lower body. No matter what daily tasks you are doing, the necessary motions either originate in your core or move through it. So an inflexible and weak core can impair how well your arms and legs perform. Strengthening your core activates power and helps you accomplish tasks easily and without pain. A strong core can prevent low back pain that affects 4 out of 5 Americans at some point in their life. When back pain occurs, a routine of core exercises is often prescribed to relieve it. Focus on keeping your core strong. I'm Annette Hammond. Like us on Facebook at Fitness Minute with Annette Hammond.
Okay, well, we paid a few bills and we're back.
Awesome. It's good to keep the lights on.
That's right. We're talking to DJ, and we're talking to his husband, Joe. Joe is going to tell us the falling in love story. He just wanted to be a friend. Okay, Joe, go.
Yeah, well, actually, it's true. I was just looking for friends. Mm-hmm. But basically, so we were just chatting online, and, way back when AOL was popular, and we just decided to meet and, hang out and go from there. But so what we did was we set up a meeting for, because you never know about, creepers or anything. So we met in public, and I happened to be sitting outside of one of the local malls there outside of the Sears, and I was talking on the phone to my cousin. And
What city?
It was in Vancouver, Washington, just outside of Portland,
in Vancouver?
Oregon.
Okay.
And so I was sitting there talking to her, waiting for him to come up to meet me. And so I was joking, and every time I saw somebody walking towards, because I was sitting on the bench right next to the entrance, and so every time somebody would walk up, I would say, "Oh, well, here comes somebody. Maybe that's them or whatever."
Oh, you didn't know what he looked like?
I said, "Oh, no, I didn't really know what he looked like because we were just, chatting, and that was pretty much it."
Wait, we were chatting on back when we were using AOL. That's how long ago it was.
But you couldn't send a picture?
I think I sent a picture, but you send a picture and seeing somebody live is a completely different story.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
So
he comes. This guy walks up, towards me, and I'm like, "Oh my God, here comes this dude." He's like wrinkled. I mean, all of his shirt was just completely wrinkled. His shorts were completely wrinkled. And I said, "Watch, this is probably him," and I was like, "This guy looks like he sat on all of his clothes before he put them on."
What kind of a gay man are you?
So we were having a good laugh.
Apparently not a good one.
So then all of a sudden the guy, instead of going through the entrance, stops in front of me, and he's like, "Joe?" And I was like, "Holy crap.
I can't be seen with you."
Okay.
Right. Exactly.
I'm on my hands. I can't wait to say the real story.
Okay, wait.
Well,
this reminds me of my husband kept saying, "Well, he's just going to be a friend. It doesn't really matter."
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, for crying out loud, he's in public. At least wear something ironed. And he was supposed to be gay for,
and in the military, aren't they supposed to wear uniforms that are nice?
Right. Exactly.
Well, I wasn't going for inspection.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I was. I don't know.
So, that was our first meeting, and then we hung out for a few hours, and I was supposed to go to a family barbecue, which I was late for, and I'm sure he'll tell you that I told him no, I didn't really feel like going, but there was food and alcohol involved, so of course I had to go. But anyways, we had walked around the mall, we had gone to Starbucks, and we had coffee, and we people watched, and we just chatted, but and we just kind of just hung out after that. And I do remember telling him one time that I don't even know what happened or what the circumstance was, but I was like, I don't find you attractive. I think, I just want to be friends. And he just
that part's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
And I was like, because I had been through so much stuff. I was just like, all right, I'm just going to be honest and to the point from this point forward, and I'll just tell it like it is.
How much older is he than you? How much older is DJ than you?
10 years. 10 years and 1 week.
Yeah.
So before you get to tell your story, DJ, on AOL, was that like a dating site? You were on the dating part of AOL?
No, it's a chat room.
Yeah, but a chat room specific to gay men, or was it just chat?
Yes. It was a chat room specific to gay men.
Okay.
But it wasn't. It was all sorts of chatting.
You didn't know anything about him or anything. You couldn't read it.
Right.
Okay. So Frumpy Dumpy. What your
Oh
story.
my God! Seriously? Now listen.
Exactly.
I'm going to tell your listeners the real story. Joe he little snippets of truth, but I'm going to tell you how it all came down.
Okay.
So I was in a relationship for 5 years, and it didn't really work out. Mm-hmm. And but we remained friends afterwards, right? So I was like, all right, this is easy. And then I would date, and my former partner would say that I was a 1 hour dater because within an hour I knew whether or not any thing was going to happen. And back then, going for coffee meant getting the dessert too.
Right.
And so if I met somebody and if I felt like we didn't have a lot in common, I'd be like, hey, thanks for the coffee. I got to go.
Right. No dessert.
And I'm going to tell you my one story about profiles. It's so much different now, but back then, you didn't really have like all these pictures, like all these apps and everything. So this one guy shows up, and I was like, "You don't look like your picture at all." And his argument was, and this is no lie, I was in a car accident, and I had all this reconstructive surgery done, and that was like the extent of my dating experience. And I was like, no. If you lie right at the starting gate, I don't even want to give you any more time.
Yeah.
So I was in the same boat as Joe. I was sick of dating. I was sick of lying, and I was sick of all that other stuff. And we met, and we had a lot in common. Like our family values were in common. Our aspirations for the future were aligned. And so when we met, I was working for a construction company as a superintendent. And so I had just gotten off work, and I was trying to find, it was in the summer, or it was warm weather because I was wearing shorts. And it was, I was like, oh my God, I don't have any clothes. So I just grabbed on clean clothes that I had taken out of the dryer. But I never folded them, so they had wrinkles. I mean, as a single guy, so I was like,
Dan, do you believe this story? You're a third party. What do you think?
It is totally true. Any single guy will tell you the total truth. You do laundry, you dry your clothes, but you leave them in the laundry basket, forever. And that's exactly what I did. So I grabbed my clothes, they were clean, and I put them on, I smoothed them out, and I figured, okay, the wrinkles will come out eventually.
It's hot. Yeah.
So then I went and I met with Joe.
They're probably still wrinkled to this day.
They're still in the laundry basket.
Listen, we still do that now. We've been together 14 years. We still do laundry, and I can show you a picture where the clothes are in the laundry basket. We just take them out of the laundry basket. Anyway.
It's so much easier just to take them out of the dryer, and then they're not wrinkled.
It's true, but...
Or throw them back in the dryer for a few minutes and unwrinkle them.
Yes, but I was late in my defense.
That's a concept right there.
So then I walk up, and he is giving me the once-over, and I can tell that he's thinking, wow, he didn't iron his clothes.
Right. Oh, you could tell that.
Yeah, but
so when you looked at him, he goes, he's gonna knock one off for not ironing my clothes. There goes the dessert. Is that what you thought?
I said, oh, he's...
Yes, seriously.
I still have a chance?
So then we go to have coffee. I could tell he's totally smitten, and... because he had to go to a barbecue, and it was only supposed to be an hour-long coffee, and it ended up being like 3.5 hours, or what have you.
Yeah.
And then we went on another date after that, and we had dinner, and that's when he said, I don't really find you attractive. I just want to be friends. And I was like, I'm fine with that too. That's all well and good. But the lesson of this story is that our relationship was built on friendship first.
Right.
And we actually grew to like each other as people, which evolved into a relationship, which in turn, had lasted, 14 years.
But I'm going to stop you there because that's a really, really good point. It happens all the time that I find people go, well, he wasn't cute, he wasn't attractive. But when you know somebody and you begin to like them, become more attractive to you.
That's right.
And, you see things that, I went out with this guy. He was like Ugg-bug. But then when he kissed me, it was like, oh, my God, like you're the best kisser in the world. And you became more attractive. I don't know.
Or they should give you attention or respect.
Yeah.
Because, and you can, when you're young and you're good looking, you can get laid. That's so easy.
That's right.
To do. That's right. But after that is who's going to be there through thick and thin, and who's going to be there through, all the tough times. And Joe has always been there. Now, bear in mind, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit when I said that. But I do sort of mean it.
That's not nice. But Joe's kind of like, your straight man to you. I mean, everybody who's outgoing like you and I need that anchor. And he lets you, go off into stratosphere and come back.
Well, first of all, in all seriousness, Joe's my soulmate. We've been through so much together. We're each other's best friends. We trust each other completely. And, I'm pretty darn lucky to have that. And I always used to say that he lets me swim far away from the shore because I know that if I get in trouble, he can reel me back in.
Right.
Because we've done some crazy stuff over the years. And, I'm not perfect. Neither one of us are perfect. We've made tons of mistakes. But when you put your neck on the line and you take big risks, then your crash, if you do crash, is spectacular.
Joe, I want to ask Joe, what do you love about DJ? Like, what's the one thing that you just like? He's just so awesome.
Huh.
Yeah, Joe.
Well,
Seriously.
there's a lot of things. It's like you said, we've been through a lot together, but I think that more importantly, we're there for each other and we can tell each other anything.
Right.
It is
about him personally. Like, what is the one thing about him that you like the most, or you respect the most, or do you like his business acumen? Do you like how he can talk to anybody? Do you like that he tries new things? Like, what about him it still excites you? And not.
See, are you recording this show?
Well, of course, it's live.
Because see, now the problem is this could be played back and used against me. But
I'll ask him the same question.
Actually, it's just him. I love to look at him.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Oh, that's so sweet.
DJ?
Well, I'm the same way with, there's so much about Joe that is, that makes him my soulmate. But the biggest thing is I just have unconditional love, and I get that back. And more importantly, the one thing I always tell him, and it's something I've never really had in my life, is he makes me feel safe and wanted.
Yeah.
And so when you're a big personality, and I know I have kind of an outgoing personality, in those moments, in those quiet moments when you're by yourself, you always sort of wonder whether someone is being real or whether, you're safe or someone's going to look out for you.
Yep.
And I have that with him. And then, of course, I love everything. He's cute. He's funny. He's such a hard worker. He's loyal. He's trustworthy. And so I can go on and on and on. That's
okay. Well, you can stop because we're going to go to a commercial break very soon.
Fine.
We do have to do that every now and then. But we got 30 seconds. But I want to say, anybody who will let you, get rid of all of your worldly belongings and move onto a boat and then into a Winnebago or whatever it was that you guys drove around is pretty special.
I will tell you this before the break. Let me tell you how that whole boat thing happened.
No, you can't. We're going to break right now.
That's what
you can tell me after
when you
the
come
break.
back, I'll tell you what happened.
After the break, you can tell us.
Because that.
Stick around, stay tuned. We're coming right back.
Frankie Sense and More will be right back after we pay the bills.
Have you heard? The pages of American Patchwork and Quilting magazine come to life on our new weekly online radio show, American Patchwork and Quilting. Join Pat Sloan, our blogging and quilt designer host, as she talks about the latest trends, ideas, and inspirations. Her guests include quilt pattern designers, authors, quilt shop owners, and our editors, all quilters, just like you. Call in with your questions. Get quilting tips from industry experts. Learn about free patterns. Hear behind-the-scenes stories from our magazines, American Patchwork and Quilting, Quilt Sampler, and Quilts and More. Get the scoop on free stuff and find out more about the best independent quilt shops in North America. To listen to a live show, tune in Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Just log on to allpeoplequilt.com/radio. To hear past shows, go to iTunes and search for American Patchwork and Quilting Radio. We hope you'll join us because we know that quilting changes everything.
It's the Fitness Minute with fitness expert Annette Hammond.
A common food myth is that bread will make you fat. The truth is quite the opposite. If you eat the right kinds of breads and other grains, you can actually lose weight. The fiber found in whole grain foods helps slow digestion, keeping you fuller longer. True whole grain bread products will have whole grain or whole wheat flour as the first ingredient. If you see anything else, it is not what you want to eat, even though it may say wheat. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that overweight people who acquired all of their grain servings from whole grains lost more belly fat than those who skipped the whole grains. You should still avoid refined grains like enriched flour, but a moderate amount of whole grain bread can be a great asset to a balanced diet. For the Fitness Minute, I'm Annette Hammond.
And we're back. You're listening to Frankie Sense and More. It's Frankie Picasso. I am your host, and we are here with DJ Doran and his husband, Joe Morales. Well, Joe, you just currently went back to become a chef, and DJ told me that you were doing the financial aspect of your partnership, and now you're cooking. So what is it about cooking that you love so much? Or what got you to go back?
It's basically everything. I enjoy cooking and creating things, and usually aside from the meals that I would make for the two of us, I always enjoyed creating and putting together a meal for our friends and family, because it was just, it brings people together. And I know a lot of people say that, but it really does. And hopefully you're enjoying the meal and the laughter and the company.
Right.
So
cooking.
I grew up where. What's that?
I said food is at the heart of every gathering. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. And I grew up where we started eating at the dining room table all the time, and then as everybody grew up and lives got crazier, then we started eating in front of the television. Probably just like most everybody does. But
I had a rule: never in front of the TV.
Yeah, and I had the same rule, and DJ at first was kind of like, "What are you talking about?" It's like, no, we sit at the dining room table. We don't have our phones, and we don't have the TV on. We'll have the radio on, but it's mainly we just sit around and we eat and we talk and enjoy each other. And
I think that's really important.
It is. You know, so, and I think that's the center of it for me. Is just being together and having an actual conversation.
So, do you have a favorite cooking show? Are you addicted? I am. I'm addicted to all of them.
Yeah. Well, I started out watching quite a bit of Food Network. There are still some that I watch, but mainly I watch a few when I have the opportunity. I haven't watched TV in probably 6 months. But
wow. You're working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right?
Yeah. So between working and going to school, it's like when I'm not asleep, I'm working or at school or, trying to stay awake.
Chopped? Did you watch Chopped? I love Chopped. I think Chopped is
Chopped. I watch Chopped every once in a while. But really, I'm more into. There's a couple of shows on Netflix. Like there's one. I think they're on season 3, but it's called The Mind of a Chef. Mm-hmm. And there are various chefs around the world that they talk with and give their perspective of, how they create and what their outlook is or what their take on food is. And it's not the celebrity chef
right
type of a TV show. They're actual working chefs that are, trying to, like everyone else, make their way through the restaurant and culinary industry. But, for instance, David Chang was on for a few episodes. He's the chef and owner in New York for Momofuku. But, and since then, I think that he's kind of elevated himself. Well, obviously, he has elevated himself to, on his way to celebrity chef. But there are a few others. But it's more, the focus is on the food and actually, instead of endorsing a product, I guess.
It's amazing to me how chefs have become TV personalities. All of a sudden, they're like the go-to, personality. Now, DJ, you're building an empire, multimedia empire with your new radio station. And are you going to have, maybe Joe should host a show about these chefs, just like they bring these guys on, talk about the food. He'll elevate himself. Everybody will elevate.
For Joe.
You're the Corn Belt.
Yeah. I never heard of that, the Corn Belt, but hopefully it's not like Children of the Corn. Isn't that out here?
That was the scariest book I ever read, except for The Stand. Yeah. And
the kid that played the first movie was kind of creepy, too. But anyway, Joe has a website called Edible Fairs.
Oh, nice.
Right? And so where he blogs about what it's like going to chef school and working and what have you. And I approached him about doing a show, at some point, but he just doesn't have the time right now. But that's something that's on the radar, and I'd love to have him do that. And I think it would be fun to have a cooking show, That'd be kind of fun too.
I'd love to cook. Yeah.
Well, Joe's, he didn't say this, but I'll say it for him. He likes, his big thing is like farm to table, fresh ingredients and that, curing meats and pickling and all that sort of cool stuff. So, so it would be really interesting for someone that is just used to seeing, regular cooking.
Joe,
did you say pickling meats?
No, I said curing meats and pickling. I don't know.
Do you know Tessa Edick? Do you know that name?
No, I haven't.
Tessa wrote a book about. She has a farm institute in New York, and they have a place where they bring kids to teach them how to become chefs at this farm, and she puts on this great big farm food event every year, and she's pretty cool. But she's in New York State, and she was on the show a while ago, but I'll have to introduce you because she just knows everybody. She's pretty connected. Okay, I want to move on to Pride Flight. Pride Flight 2018. DJ is going to take his expertise and fly around the world, be the first openly gay pilot to fly around the world, and you are looking to do that in a DC-3. Mm-hmm. Now, is this going to be a DC-3 that has upgraded turbine engines, or is this going to be one that doesn't?
Wow, that was very technical. I'll see
piston or Basler turboprop conversion. How do you like that?
There you go. A Basler turboprop conversion. That's what you're talking about. Because there's only one company that does that, and they're in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Yeah. So, no, this is not going to have the turbo conversion. It is going to be the old Pratt & Whitney R1830 radial engines, which will be overhauled to their original performance. And so there's a couple of things for Pride Flight. One is I've always wanted to do something like this, and it was on my bucket list, and I sort of never knew how I would be able to do it. I was going to just fly a single-engine private plane, but then I came up with this idea, and I thought, why not just combine my love of that airplane and my bucket list item? And within 2 weeks of coming up with the concept, I flew to Mexico, and I found the plane. And shortly thereafter, went into contract to purchase it, and now are working through all the details of Pride Flight. And the point of Pride Flight was and is to just be a goodwill mission to support and offer support to LGBT communities, groups, and organizations worldwide. No political agenda, no anything, and just go and do that. And I didn't want it to be a race. It's not a race to circumnavigate. I wanted to be able to have the flexibility to linger at these destinations if we could be direct help. And when I say direct help, I mean like medevac or food or transport or what have you. Mm-hmm. And so I allotted 7 months to 1 year for the whole trip.
Wow, nice.
Now,
and are you going to take, because that plane fits about 50 people, are you going to take people with you?
We're going to take a crew of 5, co-pilot, a flight engineer. I have the flight engineer. I'm still searching for a co-pilot. And then we're going to have various people that will be part of the crew on various legs. There'll be over 22 legs. And a leg is a distance between point A and point B.
Sure.
So obviously we're not going to circumnavigate nonstop. We're going to stop. So there's 22, 23 stops along the way. And so it only requires 2 people to fly the plane, 3 ideal, a pilot, a co-pilot, and then a flight engineer to manage systems. Everybody else is going to be for support, videography, blogging, that sort of stuff. And so, so Joe is going to be part of that to a degree. So he may not do the whole flight, for that whole time.
Right.
He may just be on parts of specific legs and hopefully write about the culinary experience wherever we happen to be at the time. And then when we're done, if we're done, and it's a dangerous mission, this is DC-3 is not like an airliner.
Right.
It's not going to go up to 40,000
right.
feet. I mean, it's going to top out at 10,000 feet.
Yeah,
So,
that's a bumpy ride.
First of all, it's going to be a bumpy ride. Second of all, we're going to have to fly around mountains and things like that instead of over mountains. Right. And it doesn't fly very fast, and it doesn't have a lot of range. So we have to be really specific. And when we leave Canada, Goose Bay, to go across to Iceland and Greenland, we're talking about the North Atlantic, and it's hours of flight without any land in sight and very limited fuel. And the same thing when we leave the Philippines on the back end to cross the Pacific, we have to island hop on these little dots of volcanic islands to be able to hopscotch our way across the Pacific to Hawaii and then eventually to San Francisco. So it's dangerous. And so that's why I said if we finish, because there's a real and present danger that, there could be disaster. The other thing is once I finish, and if I finish, then I will be in the record books as the first openly gay pilot to actually navigate by air, which is not the reason why we're doing it. It's just another layer.
Right.
And
are you going to plan it, though, so that you can land in San Francisco for Pride Day?
It's hard because there are so many variables with weather and things like that. But I don't think that that's going to be the case for San Francisco. But what we are attempting to do is to fly from Indianapolis to New Orleans as our first stop, and then we're going to be in hopefully Key West, Florida, for their 40th anniversary of their business guild and all of that, and then from Key West we may go to a couple of other places in Florida before heading into New York, and then New York will be our last stop before we head out of the country, and we're only going to have a limited number of stops in the United States. And these are basically to sort of give us a send-off as we go, because I don't want to zigzag and spend a year crossing the United States because everybody wants a pride flight plane. Yeah. And then when we come back, we're going to be in Hawaii, the first U.S. stop, obviously. And then from Hawaii, we'll come into San Francisco. I'm not sure we're going to have a coordinated stop there, but we are going to have a coordinated stop in Palm Springs, then from Palm Springs to Las Vegas, and then from Las Vegas back to Indianapolis, which is where we'll finish the flight. And like I said, it's going to be a year long. The thing about this, too, Frankie, is this flight is going to be fully funded by corporate sponsorships, individual donations, crowdfunding. I mean, we're using all sorts of different things. And you can go to prideflight2018.com to learn more about it, or you can like us on Facebook at Prideflight 2018. But the other part of that is that while we're flying, we're going to be
I'm going to stop you. We have to go to commercial break. So when we come back, we'll talk about what has to happen for you to take off and for all those corporate sponsors and everybody else. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
And more. We'll be right back after we pay the bills.
In today's business world, a helping hand or idea that doesn't come with an invoice is a treasured find. And if that happens to you, then you need to pay it forward to keep other entrepreneurs from making mistakes or getting a raw deal. It's called Paying It Forward with Josephine Girassi, Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. Central. Josephine is going to have the guests describe their accomplishments, the lessons they've learned, both good and bad, and then sharing those pieces of knowledge as we create a movement of paying it forward. For more information about Josephine, her business, and background, you can go to mymomknowsbest.com. Josephine Girassi has always been a problem solver. She saw this need and has turned it into a movement. It's Paying It Forward, with tips, tools, and advice and hard lessons learned. These pieces of knowledge can make a huge difference for you, your business, and others. So join us for Paying It Forward with Josephine Girassi, Wednesday mornings at 10 a.m., 9 a.m. Central on TogiNet.com.
It's the Fitness Minute with fitness expert Annette Hammond.
To lose or maintain your weight, it's valuable to know how many calories you're burning during your exercise. Discovery Health revealed the amount of calories that were approximately burned with these certain exercises. Of course, there are many factors such as your weight, age, speed, etc. that make a difference in the total calories burned, but these are estimates. For a 30-minute workout, you will burn 252 calories by ice skating. Rowing will torch 280 calories, while kayaking will burn 170 calories. Playing tennis will burn 250 to 300 calories, and basketball 288 calories. Swimming will burn 360 calories, but running is the big winner at 450 calories burned. For the Fitness Minute, I'm Annette Hammond. Like us on Facebook.
Okay, and we're back to Frankie Sense and More. Did you hear that, Annette Hammond? Fitness Minute. Like 450 calories burned. Like, how long, Annette, 2 hours of running?
Yes. No, I'm sorry. I'd rather be fat.
I'm with you. Okay.
I'm 55. I don't really want to chase that.
Okay. Well, we're going to finish off talking about Pride Flight 2018. You were just about to tell us something when we went off.
Oh, yeah. Basically, this is going to be one of those big projects. And I can't remember my complete thought, but I will tell you that it's funded by corporate sponsors. It's funded by crowdfunding. It's funded by all sorts of other things, and it's going to take us 2 years to plan. 2018 seems like it's a long way off, but it really isn't. Not for a project of this scope and size.
So you guys could potentially be apart though for like 7 months.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think Joe would allow that to happen. He'd miss me way too much.
Well, there's Skype.
Well, yeah.
We haven't used Skype.
Email.
And we use Skype for different things.
Mail. There's AOL. It's still around.
Yeah, exactly. I guess I'd have to sign up for my account again then, huh?
I guess so. But, I want to tell you something that was kind of fun is when I wanted to tell you the story about the boat.
Yeah. Let's talk about the boat. That's pretty exciting. That was a beautiful boat. If you go to thegoodradionetwork.com, you can see a picture of the boat. The boat is there under DJs. You'll see the little story about them. But yeah. So we never sailed a day in our life. We never even owned a boat. So we were in Chicago in 2008, 2009 when the economy was collapsing. And we were in real estate. Joe was in commercial real estate, and I was involved with hotels, buying and selling hotels. Anyway, one day, after looking at some tropical websites and seeing, how other people lived on their boat, I walked over to Joe. I said, Joe, let's sell everything and buy a sailboat and live on it and sail around the world. And he just looks up at me and he goes, do you even know how to sail? I said, how hard can it be? How hard can it be?
Right.
A lot of work.
It was a lot of work. Our very first boat, within what, Joe, 30 days or 60 days, we bought the boat?
Yeah, I don't remember. Something like that?
Yeah, it was a blur.
And is bigger the better? Like,
no, I didn't know.
Well, in most cases, yes.
Yes. Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
In the gay world, yes. But in this particular...
Not just the gay world, DJ.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Thank you. I looked online. We found a boat. I flew out to California. I made the deal, and I came back. I said, okay, we have a boat, and then we sold everything. You guys didn't even go take sailing lessons? Oh no, that would have been the easy thing. We didn't do that. So
yeah, exactly. And actually, the thing that made me mad the most was he's like, because I had clothes and this and that, and I had belongings, and he's like, well. Oh, you don't need to take all of this with you. It's California, for God's sakes. You just need shorts and a T-shirt. And so I got rid of some of my nice clothes and this and that, and we get out to San Francisco, and I'm like, holy crap, it's freaking cold here.
Yeah, it's very cold on the water. And it is cold in California.
Yeah.
I just came back from California, and we froze the whole time.
Yeah.
And I was down in Baja. Yeah, it's
San
crazy.
Francisco is cold.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So
Mexico can be cold.
Yeah, we bought the boat, and then we drove across the country with our remaining belongings. And at the time, we had a 175-pound bull mastiff named Fang. And so all three of us drove across the country. We go to the broker. We pick up the boat. He gives me the keys, and he says, oh, I can't take you to your marina because I'm going to be in a yacht race for a week. Oh. So we lived in like this industrial boatyard with no shower or anything for what, a week, Joe?
Oh my gosh.
Well, I thought it was a couple of days, but apparently you say a week. I don't remember.
Oh, well, it seemed like a week.
Wow. It seemed like a week.
Well,
yeah. And then
what about Fang? Did Fang take to the water? Did he like it? Did you have a life vest for him?
No, he was too big. That's a whole other show, but I'll tell you about Fang in a minute. But so then after a while, Joe's
he wasn't really a bright dog anyways.
No.
Yeah. Joe's like, this sucks, and this boat sucks, and this and that. And, we were bickering. We hadn't showered. It was hot. It was dirty.
Disgusting. Yeah.
The boat was dirty. And so I said, screw it. Said, drive over to the marina, and our daughter was with us. And I said, drive over to the marina. I'm going to drive this freaking boat over there. And I didn't know anything. And so I just started the boat.
I'm a pilot, therefore I can sail.
That's right. And I drove the boat. No sails, but I did it.
You don't know how many times I heard that.
Yeah,
That's
really?
Right.
Yeah.
And I drove the boat, and you know what freaked me out? As I was going under the Bay Bridge, the mast was 65 feet tall.
Oh my God!
And I'm like, oh my God, I think it's gonna hit. And I'm by myself with Fang, and and so then I luckily made it under there. But I get to the marina, right? It was Emeryville Marina. I pull into the seawall, in between the seawall, and I had to make a hard right to go to where our slip was, and then another hard left, and all of that. And you have to remember, I have no idea how to drive a boat. I have no idea about fluid dynamics other than airplanes. And so I'm thinking, oh man, these are all these $1 million yachts. They're docked on the end.
Yeah, you don't want to be hitting them.
So I go in there, and by the grace of God, I somehow get into our area where the slip was, and I point the boat into our slip, and I was like, okay, I have nothing to lose, and I gunned it. And I went right into the slip, and I thought I was going to crash into it. I put it in reverse in the last second, and it stopped, luckily. And because I did it that one time, I knew I could do it, and so I wasn't as fearful. But I will tell you that I lost 8 pounds in sweat because I was so nervous.
Okay, so how did you learn the sailing part, like the sail part, to put up the sail and do the jig, and that's hard. That stuff's not easy.
Yeah, we learned by trial and error. Like, what does this do? Oh, that doesn't work. And then
it cracks your head.
Yeah, we learned by other people and what have you. And we made a ton of mistakes. And like the time I said to Joe, throw up all the sails and let's see what she can do in like 30 knot winds in San Francisco Bay. And we put up all the sails, and I'm on the deck because we had 2 steering areas, one on the top deck and one down below, but I was on the top deck, and we throw up the sails and the boat heels over like 55 degrees.
Oh yeah.
And I'm holding on to Fang's collar so he doesn't fall overboard. And so I'm trying to steer the boat, and I gun the power to get the boat out of the point of sail so that she would right herself. But what I didn't know is that Joe had put the transmission into neutral, and I thought the whole transmission failed and we were going to crash and the boat was going to sink.
Oh no!
But we
were sailing.
Did Fang ever fall in the water?
Not off of the boat, but off of the dock. He fell in, and then he did what he would normally do. He sunk. So our daughter had to jump in and pull him out.
Wow.
So
yeah, that's why you have a vest on them, because then you can pull them up from the vest.
Well, she couldn't even do that because he's 175 pounds dry.
Yeah.
So and we did eventually get a vest for him, but he's still.
How much does a 175-pound dog weigh wet?
A lot. Yeah. A lot. And most of that
176 pounds.
Yeah.
That's right. But
that's right. That's heavy.
Is that? But, listen, you don't know how how close you are as a relationship until you live on a boat and then you live in a motorhome for a year.
Yeah, that's what everybody said to Dan and I when we took off in the pickup truck across the U.S. For a month in the cab of a truck, and said, if you guys can do that, then you can do anything. And we never fought, not once. We still never fought in all these years. So it's pretty good.
We never fought once either. It was more like several times.
It's like 20 times.
Because Joe is like, oh, turn here, do this. Oh, you're speeding. Oh, you're going too slow. Oh, pay attention. Oh, the light's green. You never had that?
But tell us about the videos. The videos are fun. I saw some of them.
Yeah,
How did you start doing those?
I'll start this and then Joe can finish it. But
okay, because he was pretty funny. Joe, you were funny in those videos.
So Joe is the straight guy, no pun intended.
He's a what?
He's a straight guy.
Yeah,
in the videos.
Is. Yeah.
So we did.
I think it's actually called Straight Man.
Yeah,
straight man. Straight man. Yeah. So foil. We would do these videos, and we were doing some videos to document our travels. And Joe is very structured. It's like, okay, here's the camera set up. Say your lines. Do this. Do that. Do this. And I, on the other hand, march to the beat of my own drum. And so I cracked myself up sometimes, and then Joe's like, stop it. As you saw that one video in Ogunquit, he was getting irritated at me because I couldn't stop laughing. And I couldn't stop laughing because he was so wound up so tight. He was like a yo-yo. And so we did these videos. Well, we started to do the videos, and we found that our outtake videos were far and away more popular than the real video of what we were trying to say.
Yeah.
So, we just started to say, let's just be ourselves and not put so much pressure on it. And it worked out. Now, I don't know.
I'm going to stop you just for one moment because we've only got 3 minutes left now, a little bit less. So let's make sure that folks who love you guys can get in touch with you. You've got 100 websites. So which one do you want to give out?
Let's give out the Gay Word, because that's our main website. So thegayword.com. That's where you can find and get directed to everything else.
And if you want to hear DJ, he's got his own radio show now. It's thelastwordpodcast.com. You can check that out.
Yep, okay. It's on Blog Talk Radio.
It's on Blog Talk Radio, The Last Word.
Every Friday at 7 o'clock.
The blogtalk.com/The Last Word every Friday. You can go there. Yeah. He's got some fun guests. Okay. So the outtakes were funnier than the intakes. And
yes.
Joe was like, come on, do it right. Stop being an ass.
Yes. But that's why I always carry a taser.
Right.
It's true.
You guys are funny.
But we've done so many crazy things, and the funny thing, I got to tell you this one story really fast about the boat, which is hysterical. When we first bought the boat, we were going on a family vacation with Joe's family, and they know we're kind of crazy and we do all these different things. But we printed out a picture of the boat, and we were in Hawaii, and of course Joe's dad is Mexican, and Joe's mom is English and German and something. Anyway, so we're all sitting around this table. And there's like 8 or 9 of us sitting there, and Joe's like, we have a big announcement, and Joe's mom says, oh, nothing you guys do surprises us anymore. And so Joe hands out these pictures, and he says, we bought a boat, and we're going to live on the boat for this and that, and we're going to sail around the world. Crickets.
Yeah.
Crickets. And then Joe's mom says, but Joey, you don't even like to get your hair wet.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Which is true, And
I have to ask you really quick, because you mentioned your daughter a couple times. How did you get a daughter? Whose daughter? Did you guys adopt a daughter?
No, it's my biological daughter.
It's your biological daughter. How old is she?
Uh-huh. What's that?
How old is she?
She will be, what year is this? She's going to be 25.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess the show is over.
Oh my God, that hour went by so fast.
Thank you so much.
We love frankincense and you, Frankie. Thank you for having us on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody, we'll see you next week.
Turn the world around. Should you be the one way to make me smile?